Hi, readers. Welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another week of reading. So, you may remember last week we learned all about biographies. We learned that biographies are written about a real person's life, that biographies are nonfiction, they have facts and real information. We learned that biographies can be about someone from the past, long ago, or someone from the present, right now. We also learned that biographies are usually about notable or a famous person. We talked about why do we read biographies, and some reasons were that biographies inspire us. We can admire people that are interesting, and we can learn lessons from learning about people's lives. Today, we're going to learn all about how do we read biographies? And you may be thinking, Miss Aquino, don't we just read the words like any other book? And yes, you do just read the words like any other book. But you also need to pay close attention to 4 things, okay? The first thing you need to pay close attention to as a reader is you need to pay attention to who is the notable person and why are they notable. So you need to pay attention to their name, of course, maybe where they're from and what they do. Then you also need to think what makes them important or famous, why they are notable. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to pay close attention to. The second thing we need to pay close attention to is their accomplishments. Accomplishments are awards or achievements, something that has been done or completed successfully. Okay? For example, soccer players winning a World Cup, that's an accomplishment. They have this award here, winning the World Cup. But accomplishments don't just have to be big trophies and awards. Accomplishments can also be like we learned about Mae Jemison. She was the first African American woman in space. That's an accomplishment. That's a huge accomplishment. Another thing Mae Jemison did that's an accomplishment was she started a science camp. Okay? So yes, trophies and awards are accomplishments, but we also want to think beyond that too. So today we learned about the first and second thing we need to pay close attention to. The third and fourth thing we're going to learn later on in the week, on Wednesday and Friday, okay? So sit tight for these last 2 things. Today, we're going to pay attention to who is the notable person, why are they notable, and the accomplishments, all right? Your job today is to go into that second slideshow, Reading 3-1 Student Work. You're going to read about Wilma Rudolph and answer 3 questions about her. So we're going to do an example together, answering the same questions that you will have to answer, but we are going to do the example about Mae Jemison. So these questions we're going to answer are who is the notable person, why is the person notable, and what was one of her accomplishments. Let's get started. So who is this notable person? What is their name? Where are they from? What do they do? Well, the name part is easy. Mae Jemison was her name. And she was born in Alabama. If you remember way back from our lab last Monday, we learned she was born in Alabama and she moved to Chicago. What does she do? She's a doctor and she was an astronaut. So that's simply how I would answer that question. Her name was Mae Jemison. She was born in Alabama, then moved to Chicago, and she was an astronaut and a doctor. Why is this person notable? What makes them important or famous? Mae Jemison was the first African American woman in space. So that's what I would write. That's what makes her notable. Mae Jemison was the first African American woman to go into outer space. The last question is asking us, what was one of her accomplishments? Something she achieved or completed successfully. Well, like we talked about earlier, Mae Jemison started a science camp. She wanted all kids to learn about science. So that's what I would write to answer that question. All right? Those are the 3 questions you are going to answer today about Wilma Rudolph. All right, remember you can type in the slideshow or write your answers in your notebook, and make sure you answer all 3 questions, okay? Click to that second slide to answer that last question. Please don't forget. And then when you're done with that, don't forget to read for 15 minutes, friends. We hope you enjoyed reading about Wilma Rudolph. She's quite an incredible athlete. All right, enjoy, readers. Talk to you Wednesday. Bye.